shall overcome, we shall overcome, we shall overcome someday. I'll be all right. I'll be all right. I'll be all right someday. Back in slavery times, when enslaved people worked long days with no pay and no say, no freedom, no fairness, no choice and no chance, the people sang. They suffered, yet they sang. Think about these words. To soothe the heart, to fight the cruelty, to declare that, yes, they were human beings. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe I'll be all right someday. I'll overcome someday, I'll overcome someday. If in my heart I do not yield, I'll overcome someday. It took a war. The Civil War, and some of you were talking about the Civil War, to end slavery. But even after, white people treated black people as less than fully human. Excluding them, ignoring them, blaming them, even attacking them, all because of the color of their skin. Black people were no longer slaves, it was true. But they were not truly free. Still they believed things would get better. Still, they sang. I want you to think about the word overcome. Just think in your head right now. When you hear that word, what comes to your mind? Maybe you know a definition. Maybe you can give me an example. I'm going to give you some think time. Aiden, I'm going to be counting on you. When you hear that word overcome, what comes to mind? Ellie, I like that proud hand.
When you go like a really far distance, you just walking when you go like on top of a big hill and then you can finally see where you're trying to go.
Okay. So you're thinking about overcoming a big distance. Absolutely. Go sit in the Zen zone, please. You're thinking about overcoming this big distance. Absolutely. Jesse, thanks for coming in silently. So that would be an obstacle, right? What are you going to say, Elena?
I was going to say what comes to my mind when I hear overcome is just be done with it.
Okay. To be done with it, to beat it, maybe. Good. Angelina?
Based on the book, based on what I heard from the book, I think overcome means like overcome like a fear or something.
Okay, so it could be to overcome a fear. You probably heard it that way. I'm going to actually give you the definition of overcome that I looked up on dictionary.com, which is one of those things that you could use if you ever wanted to look up a word. Overcome means to successfully deal with or gain control of something difficult. Okay? And a lot of you are talking about things that were difficult, like overcoming, not distracted hands, pocket, or on my desk, you choose. Thank you. Thank you. It's something difficult, like a big hill or a long distance, or overcoming something. What were you saying, Ellie, again?
Like you were going a long distance.
Oh, yeah, long distance walking. Alina, what did you say? Okay, so be done with something. You overcame something difficult. You had control over it. That's what overcoming is. And we're going to talk about how the leaders of the civil rights movement overcame their obstacles. We will overcome, we will overcome someday. It wasn't easy to believe. It wasn't easy when white people shut out African Americans from good jobs and good pay, schools and libraries and neighborhoods, restaurants and hotels and bathrooms, train cars and, go flip a card, Connor, and bus seats, playgrounds and parks. But black Americans and some white Americans did believe they could overcome the unfairness, hate, and violence. They started to protest. They brought a church song, I Will Overcome, to the streets. But since they were marching and working together, they sang, we will overcome, we together will overcome. Thanks for doing that silently. From the streets, the song reached the ears of city people, country people, followers, and leaders. It reached Martin Luther King, the most important leader working for justice for African Americans. He took the song with him in his heart. Everywhere he traveled, the words changed a little, but the spirit stayed the same. We shall overcome, we shall overcome, we shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday. There were many forms of race hatred and many ways to fight it. Some students fought it, listen to this, by sitting down in restaurants and asking to be served. They didn't ask for free food. They didn't want special service. They just wanted to buy a meal, like any white person could. The students sat and sat, waiting for hamburgers, donuts, and sodas. I like how your eyes travel wherever the book goes. It's awesome. but that never came. The students sat and waited until they were